I'm so hood. I'm so hood. What's up, guys? I figured I'd start it right now because I think you'd want to see Nugget. Look at Nugget. Look at. All right. Look at. Yes, I know Tim. Tim, you're going to want to see Nugget. There he is. Now you get a really good look at him. He's a good-looking dog. Look at him. He is. Look over here. Look over here. Nugget. He's looking inside the house. I don't know why. There he is. Look at that good-looking dog. He is. He's a good-looking dog. Yeah. Why don't you go run around? Well, guys, today... Well, oh, shit. Nugget's about to fall. Well, let's do the proper thing here. We're wearing the Contra shirt, which I got from Daniel, who is D. Tysonator when he came to my house. But with Contra, we go, what's really hood? Oh, guys. Well, what to say here? I'm just chilling. So I don't know. I need to take a shower still and everything. I was wearing this shirt yesterday, watching the Bears. Had my Bears sweater on, but took it off. It's kind of hot out here. But I'm just hanging out, man, having a weekend. Today I have off. So I'm just chilling. And I thought, well, let's go shoot at What's Really Hood. It's really nice out. Just want to chill out on the deck. It's real quiet out here. And, yeah, what are we talking about today? We're talking about a question that came in from Canadian Gamer. And he had asked me once in a chat, he said, what's your sweet spot in gaming? Like, where's the sweet spot? And I don't know if he meant it by, like, just mine. That's what I'm assuming he meant. But it's just my sweet spot or what I think is the sweet spot in gaming. And sweet spot would mean, like, when do you think it was the best? Well, all I can do is go off of my own. Nuggets can go on the damn table. What are you doing? What are you doing, Nuggy? What are you doing? Get off the damn table. All I can do is go off of my own opinion. So I'm 37 years old. And so I would probably... I'd have to go with... I'll just get to the chase here. Cut to the chase. I'd probably say, I'm not going to go by years. I'm going to go by system. I'm probably going to say the PS2 era. End of PS1, going into the PS2. But pretty much the PS2 era is probably where I'm going to sit at, because that's when I had the most fun. That's where all the memories are at. That's when my friends were coming over and we were playing... games like Grand Theft Auto and all those sports games I told you, NHL 2001, MVP Baseball, NBA Street, Madden, that was Madden 05, Madden 06, we were playing all those games. That would be the sweet spot. I mean, that was such a cool time in gaming. But before I keep talking about that era with those games, I definitely did want to say, if I was older, though, I'm pretty sure I would be choosing the early 90s, late 80s, like 88 to 92 type of thing. End of Nintendo, middle of Nintendo, NES, and into Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Because, to be honest, back then, it was like a way of life. Like, Nintendo hit the world so hard. With people dressing up for Halloween as the characters, all the cartoons, the magazines, it's all over the media, sometimes for negativity. People saying that, video games are bad for you and stuff like that. Nintendo was everywhere. And so if I was older, I would probably say that, because I'm sure I would have been ridiculously into it. But I was born in 86. So I probably started playing video games just going off of like when Nathan started, when I was like 3. So I wasn't playing till it was 1989. You know, so I'd say from 3 on is when I was really into it. Don't get me wrong, I played the hell out of NES. I read the Nintendo Powers. I was all into it. We had the Nintendo Power Trapper Keeper, which, come to find out, we ordered from a magazine we had to have, because it was in the little brochure that I found. So I mean, don't get me wrong, we were really into it, big time, dude. But if I was older, I would have experienced that as like a high schooler or middle schooler, and then friends would have been coming over and playing those games and stuff like that. That I didn't experience. I didn't have friends coming over and playing Contra or Punch-Out or Mario 3. It was just me and my brother. We weren't at that stage yet where friends were coming over. When friends came over, the first time they started coming over was definitely PS1. PS1, definitely. With WWF Attitude, WCW Nitro. I'm just going off the games I remember buying. My buddy Steve would come over and play that. He'd have me over at his house with a Sega Saturn playing Tomb Raider. Definitely remember that. But I would say the sweet spot for me is got to be in the PS1, PS2 era, because we would just play and rent games all the time that we would be really into. I mean, anywhere from Max Payne, all those sports games, I'm telling you, like all of them. Dave Mirra, Tony Hawk games. Not so much Tony Hawk, though. Like, they would play that and stuff, but I was mostly just into the Dave Mirra one. And just a lot of games. Like, once you look through the system, me and a buddy were talking about PS1 the other day. I think it was me and T-Belly and Solid Nate. And, man, looking back at PS1, a lot of people kind of throw shade at PS1. But, man, PS1 had some good freaking titles, bro. I started rattling them all off. And just as I was remembering them, I mean, dude, 3, and they were new back then, 3 Twisted Metal games. Twisted Metal's fucking sick. Tell me Twisted Metal wasn't fucking awesome back in the day. For real. Unlocking Midian, using the fucking codes to get Midian and shit. Dude, playing with your friends, blowing each other up. That was fun, man. That was fun. But I started rattling off a whole bunch of games on PS1. And PS1 was freaking loaded, bro. That was a good system. But PS2 is like when they kind of perfected everything, when those sports games became very simulation to us back then. We're like, wow, this is really realistic. The graphics look awesome. You know, more realism was involved in these games. And like I said, you had your God of War 1 and 2. Like, God of War came to the scene. That was a really big deal, you know. You know, games like the GTA series took off. Grand Theft Auto 3. Grand Theft Auto Vice City, San Andreas. I mean, think about that. PS2 had 3 Grand Theft Autos. Isn't that insane to think? Isn't that insane? And then they released Liberty City Stories, which was a port from like the PSP, right? And that came over too. And then you have Vice City Stories. I mean, man, you got your fair share of freaking GTA back then. And I mean, think about it. Look how long we wait for GTAs right now, you know? So yeah, we were playing a lot of those games. I mean, PS2, we were all in, man. We were playing Gauntlet. We were playing a lot of freaking stuff. So I would say the best time, and it's never been that good again, is PS2. It's never been that good again. I can imagine back in like 89, 90 that gaming was the same way. It was really taking off. in those years, you would have had like the Contra Hardcore, Contra 3. You know, you would have got 2 of them, which is fucking really cool, and 2 really awesome games. And sports was definitely a lot different. I mean, look at NES games, and then look at Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. Especially shout out to Sega Genesis for sports games. So I'm sure that was a really big deal back in the day. But I was too little to really call that my sweet spot, though. You know, I'm in love with that era now, but I wasn't old enough to... That's kind of why I'm so into it now. And I have so many questions about it now, is because I didn't know what it was like back then. So I remember when I made a What's Really Hood a long time ago about wanting to hear your guys' stories from kind of the older crowd, the guys who were 40 and up, you know, when you had 5 years on me, and it made all the difference, you know. Where when I was 6, you know, you're 12, 13, 14, you know, those guys, you know, because they seen Nintendo at a whole different light. You know, you guys really got to experience it. That's where the stories came out of. Oh yeah, at school we talked about Super Nintendo versus Sega. Yup. You know, for sure, man. Like that's. See, I didn't go through that because I didn't think that way yet. I just liked everything, you know. I didn't get in debates with kids yet, you know. But, no, Nuggy, he's laying right here. He's a good boy. But yeah, PS2 was just such a great time playing all those freaking games. And games they were really realistic back then. I mean, that was like really insane. You could screw around for a whole weekend and play Madden easily. You know, MVP baseball, man. I mean, we played the fuck out of that, dude. NBA Street. I mean, when that game came out, that was like NBA Jam, but a little bit more. And Jordan was on there and everything. We used to play the hell out of that. How about a Ready to Rumble boxing? We used to play that all the freaking time. Even though I went back to that recently, and it's not that good. I did not have a fun time with it. I did not remember it for what it was. I remember having so much more fun with it, and then going back to it, I'm like, yikes, it's kind of rough, you know? But yeah, man, I think that'd be my stuff. It's just, I wish I had a whole thing of PS2, but I mean, it wasn't even a thing of quantity with PS2, but when you got all those GTA games, like, think about how many hours you poured into that. You know? Max Payne, The Suffering... had some Resident Evils on there, you know, which I wasn't huge fans of. You had Silent Hills on there. PS2 was the one that, you know, we played Champions of Norath. I remember that. It took such a big leap. You know, you played the Medal of Honors and everything on PS1, and they were awesome. But, man, on PS2, the graphics were so much better, and you know, I still remember Medal of Honor Frontline. I mean, dude, Call of Duty Finest Hour. That's where Call of Duty started, man. I mean, Call of Duty was fucking badass back then, dude. Such a cool game. So we would be sitting there, we'd have all these games, and we'd be playing them. And I'd borrow them to friends and things like that. And it was just a good time. It was a good time, man. Fucking PS2, man. And then original Xbox, too. I didn't play it very much at all. But my buddy Andrew, who's going to be coming over here soon, my buddy Andrew had NFL Fever on there, and then we tried the World Series Baseball. The NHL game was awesome. I mean, the sports games were amazing on 2K back then, dude. How about 2K5 football? I know that's looked at nowadays as like the best football game. There's a lot of people that still live and die by that 2K5 game. T-Belly was just talking about that like a couple weeks ago, about how freaking good that game is. It's very realistic, apparently. It's very good. Yeah, if 2K came back to football, that'd be cool, man. 2K is awesome. That's for sure. But yeah, the wrestling games on PS2, I mean, you're talking about the first SmackDown, don't get me wrong. I was very disappointed. But man, you had all the SmackDown vs. Raw started on there. SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. A lot of people say that's the best wrestling game of all time. There's a debate there. So I mean, you had a lot of really good stuff in that PS2 era. You had a lot, and then you could fuck around with GameCube too. And GameCube still had Double Dash and WarioWare, and Animal Crossing came out back then. First one. Oh, how about Kingdom Hearts? Kingdom Hearts, that one came out. I played both of those. I mean, there was just a lot of good stuff. That system, PS2, had so many freaking games too, man. I mean, there was just a lot of stuff. I mean, to this day, I still find good games. Dude, how about the Punisher game? The Punisher game was fucking amazing. 2 Max Paynes. Had some Metal Gears on there. But yeah, that freaking Punisher game. How about that? I mean, oh my goodness. Dude, that Punisher game was amazing. I went back to that. How about X-Men Legends? That's a game that came out. X-Men Legends, X-Men Ultimate Alliance. Those games were really cool. I mean, they just came out with one not too long ago, right? Well, is that Ultimate Alliance 3? Is that what it was? Those are great games, man. I just bought it not long ago at the convention. I bought the Justice League one. It's called, I forget. It's on Xbox, but it's on PS2 as well. But I got it for Xbox. But yeah, it's the same thing as X-Men Legends and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, except it's all DC characters. So you got your Batman, Superman, Flash, and so on and so forth. Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and you're gonna be facing like Lex Luthor and stuff. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's probably gonna be an awesome game, man. It's probably just not talked about for some reason. I mean, I think it's awesome you can be Superman. But yeah, man, I'd say the sweet spot was like right there. So I don't know whatever years those are, but just I'm talking like PS2 era. PS2 was really my probably greatest time in gaming. I definitely had some awesome times on like the 360. That was my main like multiplayer time. But PS2 even had multiplayer as well, though, man. I played U.S. Navy SEALs, SOCOM. I played that online on PS2 online. Call of Duty, Finest Hour, I played online. Madden, we played online. Yeah, I bought that black box that goes on the back of the PS2, and I played online, man. It all started on the PS2, but my biggest online time to have fun, where I really got into it, was Xbox 360 when I started playing the Call of Duty Modern Warfare series. That was that took off, where I played online gaming a lot. MLB 2K, whatever it was. I don't remember what year, but it had Tim Lincecum on the cover. I played so many games of that. I mean, I literally probably played 600-700 games online, dude. It was insane. Yeah, we played Madden back then online as well. But Call of Duty, man, oh my gosh, did we pour hours into that. Whew. But that's more of like my online. I wouldn't say that overtakes the PS2 era. PS2 era is definitely like when I had friends over, versus it grew into me getting older, like when I would get off of work and I would go over to Paul's house. And Paul lived with my other buddy, Steve. 2 Steves. And I'd go over there with a thing of Southern Comfort, 100 proof. And I'd have one of the Raw vs. SmackDowns. And I remember I would go over there, and me and fucking Paul would just play the hell out of SmackDown and just beat the hell out of people in tornado tag matches and just drink. And we'd get messed up and have a little party over at the house. A bunch of people would come over. And then PS2 also had some fights in the break room. So I worked at Target at the time, and we used to play one of the SmackDown vs. Raw games. And I remember Aaron and Jeremy were their names, and me and Tom would team up, and it'd be a tag team match. And we'd always talk crap to each other before we got to the break room. And to be honest, we would just whoop their fucking ass, dude. They beat us like literally once. I only remember one time. And we would just dominate them, dude. I'd just be Kane. Tom would be a mixture of people. And then I remember Jeremy and Aaron would always take their game home, and it was Aaron's game, and Aaron would make this overall 99 guy. He had the Incredible Hulk on there. It was this huge fucking character. And then Jeremy would be some 99 guy, and we'd still whoop the shit out of him. I'd just be the normal Kane and just destroy him. I still remember there was a move on the ground to punch him in the head, and I would just keep doing it. But I would try to listen for him, like, trying to reverse it. So he'd be hitting the button, and I would wait till I'd hear that he hit the button, and then I would do the move. And he didn't know I was doing that, I don't think. But obviously I didn't want to do it when I heard him hitting it, because he would reverse it. So I'd wait till just when I heard him hit it, I knew his fingers coming up, and then I'm doing the move. And I'd just keep doing it. He'd get so freaking mad. I know Todd sometimes, he's in the comment section here, Tekkenite, and Todd would always be there on break, and he worked in the back with us, and Todd would sit there cracking up, dude, because Aaron would get so mad. Like one time Aaron threw his controller and shit. It was his controller, but he like threw it on the ground. He like spiked it. He was so fucking mad. And we would purposely try to get him mad, you know, because I knew he'd get mad, so it was just funny. He'd just keep whooping their ass. Like, you'd eliminate Jeremy and then just start whooping Aaron's ass 2-on-1 for like 15 minutes. Finally, he'd be like, all right, pin me, dude, pin me. We remember that was so funny. Then we'd be in the back room just talking about it, laughing our ass off. Like, dude, did you see? Man, they were getting so mad, you know. It was like the main event every day because they had a PS2 hooked up upstairs in the break room. It was awesome. It was awesome, man. It was good stuff. But yeah, it got real serious and people would get mad. I remember one time there was this big feud with Aaron. Or no. Jeremy guaranteed he could beat Tom 1-on-1. Guaranteed. He's like, dude, if I win against you 1-on-1, I'd destroy you. It's just, you got Dan there, too, and you guys are good as a team, but I could beat you 1-on-1, no problem. And so, of course, they faced Tom, just killed him. Tom just destroyed Jeremy, and he was so mad. Oh, my God, he was so mad. And he's just like, I can't do this, I can't do this. Just bitching about the controls and everything. Oh, he was so angry. That's fucking bullshit. Good times. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. It's enough for you. But yeah, PS2 era, good stuff. I told you some stories about it. Playing those old games. I mean, Punisher, man. Oh, man, I used to play that and played the hell out of it. What a good game. Oh, dude, Burnout. Burnout Revenge, bro. Ooh, they had the Burnout games on there, too. And that's the thing, is there wasn't just one. There'd be like 2 or 3 Burnout games on there. Oh, my God. So good. Such good stuff. They never did have a PS2 Road Rash game, though. Which is crazy. They kind of stopped. That Road Rash 3D on PS1 was fucking awesome, dude. I did a playthrough of that. I finally beat it. It's a good fucking game, dude. But anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. I'm just sitting here chilling today, so... Peace. God bless.